Hi, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick.
And my name is Chris. And Nick, what have we got in store today?
Today, Chris, we're taking a cheeky look at Cardano. So this is specifically looking at the Fortune 500 companies and what it would take for Cardano to be the obvious choice. So do stick around. We're going to get into that. We're going to have a look at the current market situation as it stands. We'll also have a look at the Cardano to USD chart, and then get right into this article on the 500. The Fortune 500, and what was going to make them choose Cardano. And so if you do find it useful and informative, smash up that like button for Chris. He really appreciates it. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here. Right, Chris, shall we jump on over to I guess to CoinMarketCap and see what is going on there, and then get straight into this.
Yeah, let's do it, Nick. Let's get straight into it.
Fantastic. Right, so here we are on CoinMarketCap. We have a market cap so far of 559 billion. We have trading volume of 104 billion, and Bitcoin's dominance is 63.2. There are, strangely enough, Chris, 7,965 cryptocurrencies in existence, and that's 34,200 markets. So yeah, it's growing nicely. That's a lot of projects that we definitely won't be able to cover all of them, but we are monitoring a handful on this channel. And we've had a bit of a mixed bag, haven't we, Chris, in terms of performance for today? So
Yeah.
XRP's gone a little bit in the red, VeChain's in the red, Algorand's in the red, Zilliqa's in the red, and RSR is in the red. But everything else in here is pretty good. We've got lots of greens. And Cardano is no exception to that, Chris. So Cardano is up 5.87%, currently trading at 15.3 cents. So this has a market cap now of 4.7 billion, a trading volume of 663 million, and the circulating supply is the 31 billion, total supply 45, and maximum supply 45 billion, right? So none of those really last measures change much. Now to recap everyone's kind of memories here, the all-time high was achieved on the 4th of January 2018, and that was $1.33. So pretty good day for Cardano and ADA here at 5.65%, and I think this is going to continue to grow nicely as we enter 2021. So let's have a look at the chart, right? So here we have ADA's against the Cardano ADA against the USD. This is the daily chart, and I've put a fib retracement on here. This is the low of the 3rd of November and the high point here on the 24th of November. From what we're seeing, we've seen a couple of things. We've seen a test twice, I guess, of this area, right? So the 38% level, specifically really this one here as a focus point. We've also been testing the 50% as well. We've tested the 50% a couple of times. Now, obviously, with Bitcoin's recent rally, Chris, moving upwards, we've seen some positive action against most altcoins, really, haven't we? And Cardano is no exception, right? So on the 11th, we tested the 50% retracement level again, and then we got a couple of green candles. We tested on the 12th, the 61% fib retrace, right? And we pierced through there today. And we're heading towards the 78% retracement. Now we want to get past this level of resistance as well. And we can see, obviously, it's been tested here and it's been tested a couple of times here as well. And there's a lot of buying pressure in this zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw on here some horizontal lines to give you a bit of an indication of some areas of concern, right? So straight away we can see an area of concern there. And we can also see an area of concern here. Okay, so these are a couple of areas that we want to be focusing in on, and specifically this channel here, which we could see some consolidation on before we move to the upside. And also, just to point out, there still might be a need to retest this area here at some point, because we haven't come as low as this one, this particular candle wick. So just bear that in mind. We are seeing a rally, but that's mainly because Bitcoin's starting to rally. If Bitcoin decides to tank down, do expect to bottom out at the bottom here on that 38% fib retrace. So what we're seeing here in the next few days is going to be quite an interesting time. Obviously, at the moment, the MACD lines are indicating on the daily chart that it's a negative and a buy-in sentiment. But if we were to drop this down into the hourly, we're going to see we've had a recent crossover. So we crossed over here, and now we've crossed back over here in the last couple of hours as well. So that rally up, and now we're in this trend here. So we're going to see if this changes, and obviously we can just pull this down to this next level, and we can see it still hasn't. It's still under there. So let's just see how that plays out going forward. But there could be some slowing in the momentum of Cardano against the USD currently. So let's just see how today closes and what tomorrow brings. But Chris, shall we dive into this Fortune 500 and see what it's going to take to get them involved with Cardano? Is there anything you would like to bring up now on pricing and charts or anything like that?
No, let's get straight into it, Nick.
Fantastic. So here we are, what it takes to make Cardano, ADA, the obvious choice for Fortune 500 companies, right? So amid this slew of new faces, the Cardano Foundation has set its sights on making Cardano the go-to platform for governments and enterprises across the world. However, a mountain of unique challenges lay in its way, ranging from governance problems to longer procurement times in large Fortune 500 companies. So luckily, the foundation's new CEO, a former PwC executive, has ideas on how to overcome them. So the Cardano Foundation is gearing up for an exciting 2021, and that's totally agree that everything that's happening with Cardano is just clearly indicating to me that 2021 is going to be an absolutely massive year for Cardano and ADA as a native token. And beyond that, I think, with the bull cycle and everything else, Chris, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic year. So the launch of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 has been a major turning point for Cardano. The ambitious blockchain project created by 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗧 has been 5 years in the making. But the July launch of its staking era marked the beginning of a new chapter for the entire ecosystem, and it was absolutely phenomenal when that got launched as well. Less than 6 months later, the most of the pieces required to launch Gggen and its smart contract functionality are set in place. Work on Voltaire, Cardano's governance era, is also heavily underway. And I do wonder, Chris, once Gggen gets launched, how long will it take them to actually get Voltaire out there? It's going to be an interesting one. Are we looking at another 6 months? Are we looking at a year? Yeah, I'm going to be really watching that one closely. So let's see, right? So with most of the functionalities set to see the light of day at various times next year, the community experts expects that they will be the main force driving more adoption. However, with 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗧 and the Cardano Foundation still holding mandates to run the Cardano blockchain, the two entities, not the community, will be responsible for onboarding more partners to the blockchain. And while 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗧 has put most of its focus on technical development, the Cardano Foundation took upon itself the human aspect of adoption, making the promotion of the blockchain its main purpose. Handling such a huge task requires expanding the Foundation's team, which is why 11 new members were onboarded this year alone. Among them is the Foundation's new CEO, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, who left his role as the leader of PwC Switzerland's digital financial services to drive adoption for Cardano. So Gerard joins Charles Hoskinson, the CEO of 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗧, in a fireside chat streamed on 10th of December, share his thoughts on the current state of Cardano Foundation and give the community a bit more insights into what he has in store for Cardano. So despite holding his position for less than 3 months, Gerard already has strong opinions on where the foundation should go. In first impressions of Cardano are incredibly positive. He told Hoskinson, adding that he was primarily surprised with the team's ability to snip code. What left the biggest impression on the financial industry veteran, however, was the community that gathered around Cardano. The rate of engagement across all community channels, from Telegram groups to idea scale, is something rarely seen in the blockchain industry, and is something Gerard believes is Cardano's most valuable asset. That isn't to say that there aren't a slew of problems and issues that need to be resolved within Cardano and the foundation itself. 𝗕𝗪𝗪 said that the foundation faces big governance challenges unique to the system that has a huge number of people working both on it and in it, right? So hopefully that gives a bit of an insight there as to what they're talking about. But the problem with implementing blockchain technology to large corporations and governments, relatively new to the crypto space, right? 𝗕𝗪𝗪 has brought a completely new outlook on blockchain adoption to the Cardano Foundation. Namely, he believes that having the best protocol isn't in itself enough to bring adoption. He explained that the most Fortune 500 companies are run by people who rely on trusted old systems that are reluctant to take the risk of implementing entirely new technology to their company. And it's not just the high management and executives that are reluctant to adopt new systems. 𝗕𝗪𝗪 said that sometimes even the research and development departments are the ones that slam the brakes when it comes to technology progress. So procurement is a dreaded thing in large companies and corporations. He told Hoskinson, explaining that few people in the consumer space realize the complexity of the systems that underline these companies. Any change a corporation or a government implements affects hundreds, sometimes even thousands of people, putting millions and billions of dollars worth of assets in jeopardy. When combined with the fact that dozens of people are usually included in a decision making progress within a company, the long procurement times dreaded by the crypto industry become much more understandable. 𝗕𝗪𝗪 also noted that the blockchain has had a strong novelty factor that prevents its adoption. The open source decentralized architecture of blockchain technology is very different from the closed system most corporations know and use too. Even if all of this wasn't as big of an issue as it is, the cost factor still remains one of the biggest roadblocks for enterprises looking to adopt blockchain technology. With an unpredictable fee structure and gas, with costs ranging from mere cents to hundreds of dollars per transaction, Ethereum failed to see mass adoption from enterprises despite the size of its community. So, Cardano brings scalability and predictability to corporations' need. Cardano, on the other hand, was built on rigorous processes that ensure the cost of operating the blockchain is known in advance. The formal methods used in developing the protocol resulted in unprecedented level of trust and certainty that the system will remain stable and reliable no matter what the the markets throw at it. And it's really reliability that will drastically reduce procurement time for Fortune 500 companies looking to implement blockchain technology. While 𝗕𝗪𝗪 admitted that many Fortune 500 companies already have governance models in place that are significantly better than what is currently offered by blockchains, he noted that they still face serious scalability issues. He said that it does go to show that there are serious need for governance as a service, even in companies that invest millions of dollars into their own in-house governance solution. So the good news is that most of the problems IOHK sought out to solve with Cardano what Fortune 500 companies are currently suffering from. The bad news is there is still a long way to go before Cardano becomes a go-to platform for a company like that. 𝗕𝗪𝗪 believes the Cardano Foundation isn't harnessing the power of the Cardano community. He said that all aspects of the community need to be rethought and redeployed, as the community is and always will be Cardano's strongest asset. So, and here's a quote from 𝗕𝗪𝗪 directly, right? So the role of the Cardano Foundation is to show the art of the possible. So he explained that the foundation needs to educate the community about Cardano and what's possible to achieve with it, giving the community the source code, tools, and connectors will enable people to build local business models and fix local problems. And this, 𝗕𝗪d said, is what will convince large companies and governments that there is real value to Cardano and the people gathered around it. So absolutely massive news. I'm sorry it took quite a while to kind of get through that, but now I'm going to kind of share our thoughts on it, because a few things in there that really do kind of stand out, Chris. And some of those are those roadblocks. Working in big companies as we do and have done in the past. It really is true. It takes a long time to get anything through, and there is a lot of decision makers that have to be involved. So Chris, what is your thoughts on this and the Fortune 500 potentially utilizing Cardano?
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I think, like you've said, it's just going to take some time, and we've got experience of this, right? So both you and I have built a system and tried to get it into one of these Fortune 500 companies, and there's so many decision makers and so many hoops that you need to jump through in order to be able to move things forward. It takes an awful long time to get some of these things over the line, right? And then you've got the other thing is, some of these companies are working with really old systems, like really old, like not up to date, not up to the general standard of some of the other companies within those sectors. So it's not just a case of jumping on board to a new platform, it's the infrastructure that sits behind it. So it can be massive investments for some of these companies.
No, absolutely, yeah. I think it's going to happen. I think we just, as 𝗕𝗪d is kind of alluding to there, let's get some smaller local businesses utilizing Cardano to kind of have a proof of concept, to prove that it works, to prove that it's reliable, prove that it's scalable, and then Fortune 500 companies will start paying attention. And I still believe that it is the Fortune 500 companies' only real option if they want to get into the blockchain sector. If they want to utilize the technology, in my mind, it's going to be Cardano, or it's going to be something like Hedera Hashgraph, right? I think there's not an awful lot of options for them that's going to be able to tick the required number of boxes. And that's probably going to wind up quite a few people, and a few people will probably be triggered in the comments down below for that one. But ultimately, if you think about these large companies and everything that they're going to be doing, it's, some of these other projects, they're just not quite at that level. So hopefully, guys, that this was useful and informative for you. If it was, do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really does appreciate it. And if you're new here, do subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with that said, we hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah, take care, everyone.